What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. With that being said, man, I wanna comment on some a statement that Boogie Cousins made on the Run It Back podcast, right? And Boogie basically said that he would trade Dylan Brooks for Austin Reeves, which I I would disagree with that. I don't think that would be a good move to trade Dylan Brooks for for Austin Reeves. And my reasoning behind that is you would definitely get better on the defensive end, right? But now you're trading one deficiency for another deficiency, right? Because Dylan Brooks is not he's not the scorer that Austin Reeves is. So when you take Austin Reeves off the Lakers, I mean, yeah, you take Reeves off the Lakers, that do make you stronger defensively. But it makes you put you at a disadvantage offensively. I think that what I would do, like I said, the person that you really need to move would have to be LeBron James. You would have to keep Reeves, and you would have to you got guys on the bench on the team already who are better defenders than LeBron James. So you number one, you're bringing Smart. He makes you a little bit better defensively, and then you have other guys on the bench who are who are really solid defenders. No need to bring in somebody like Brooks, because he's not going to help you on the offensive end. Whereas though you're going to need some scoring. It's not, if you take away the scoring, now you're going to really have to be outstanding on the offensive end, and the Lakers are not that with LeBron James and Luka, right? So with that being said, let me play what Boogie Cousins said, so I can come back and give my opinion on what he has to say about making a trade for these two.
Enough to think they're going to be all right? Like, what do you see when you watch them?
I've said it before, I say it again. I think this Lakers team is a middle of the pack team in the West. Are they a good team this season? Yes. Are they a championship team? That's the real question. And I think the glaring issue with this team is defense. Obviously, they have all the offense in the world. They have one of the best offensive young stars in the league in Luka. But speaking on that same star, he's probably one of the worst defenders and help side defenders in the league as well. Defense is their problem. It's nothing to do with the offense. It's nothing to do with chemistry. It's literally the defensive side of the ball. And until that's addressed, they'll continue to be a middle of a pack team.
Yeah, so if you get rid of Reeves, right, and defense is your problem. Now you got rid of Reeves, but you still just can't solely rely on Luka to be, he's going to be your number one offensive threat, but Dylan Brooks is not going to make up for what Reeves bring at the offensive end. So that those two, Reeves and Luka, you can work around those guys if you put defenders around those guys. So if Luka, because you're not going to take Luka off the court, right? And if you take Reeves off, now you're putting even more pressure on Luka to score.
Yeah, they kind of are who they are, right? They're an elite offensive team. Austin Reeves has been great. He's obviously been out. I think he's out even 2 or 3 more weeks, so that's not going to help. You know what you get when you have a Luka Doncic offense. It's a lot of dribbling. It's a lot of usage rates, a lot of ISO. It's a lot of standing around for other guys that have to be able to catch and shoot, or catch and kind of go off the catch, get downhill, make plays, or just catch and shoot. And that's the kind of what the offense is right now. It's not a lot of movement. It's a lot of pick and roll. It's a lot of ISO. So when you have this kind of stagnant offense sometime, and it's so dominated by one guy, kind of like James Harden's type offense back in the day, it's hard to get in that rhythm. It's hard for everybody to get touches and feel involved. And on the defensive end, they're really bad. They are the 24th to 25th, worst defense in the NBA. So they're not getting stops. If I was them, I would be, when you have a guy like Luka and Austin Reeves, who aren't the best defenders in the world, you have to surround them with other elite wing defenders. You would think they would know that going into this season. And they do have guys like Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart that I think need to get more minutes with those guys on the floor. But listen, at the end of the day, They're right there for home court advantage. They're playing pretty.
Yeah, see that's the thing. It's you got Marcus Smart and you got the guy named Vanderbilt. You got them already on the team. So why do you need Brooks? You know, and then now you're going to take away from your offensive punch if you get rid of Reaves.
Good basketball for the most part. They just have glaring holes on the defensive end that they have to fix. And there's always been the question, can you win with this style of offense? Can you win a championship? And time will tell, but it's really hard.
I mean, I think we've seen the greatest version of it already in James Harden. And, you know, that style of play was critiqued then. So.
And does he have any rings?
No. I mean, so what's the difference now? You know what I mean? Why?
I think everyone's better now, if anything. Like,
but why does the rhythm of the beat change now that is Luka, and it's now a question of I think he can. It's the same thing. Keep the same energy. Sure. The same energy y'all have for James Harden, let's have the same energy for Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I think both of y'all hit the nail on the head, right? Like, they have defensive struggles and they have issues on the defensive end, but it's hard to approach it when it's your best players. When it's your best players and those are the guys that's creating the issues for you on the defensive end, like, how do you approach that? You're not going to trade any of these guys. They're not going to move. They're going to play 35 to 40 minutes a game. That's the identity of your basketball team. So what do? You have to look around them, and you got to get other guys to be there. I like what Marcus Smart is going to bring to the table in a deep playoff run. I like what Vanderbilt is starting to become for this team. That's why they bring him here. But other than that, they got to patch up some things. Aiden had 3 big blocks last night. Let's see if he can do that consistently. If they can get the other guys, the supporting cast.
It's with the Lakers, in my opinion, it's going to be about coaching. They have better defenders on that team already. So it's about coaching. Like if JJ Redick is afraid to coach LeBron James, you know, and then they're not going to be able to have success. You know, he's going to have to be the guy who they limit his minutes so they can have better defenders out there. You can kind of limit I wouldn't limit Reaves or Luka minutes because you're going to need scorers out there at all time. So it got to be LeBron James. You can't have
be the
3
defensive presence that your stars aren't going to be. That makes them a good basketball team. I think they're poised to be a home playoff team. I think they stay in the top 4, and I think they can be competitive and they can contend. But if they can't get stops, it's going to be tough to compete against a team like a San Antonio that they take pride in the defensive end, like Oklahoma City. They take pride in the defensive end. So there's a difference between contention and actually being able to get it done and getting out of the West to the championship. Until they prove themselves to have the same mentality as 1 or 2 of those teams, they're going to be who they are right now. They're going to be a really good basketball team, but not enough to come out of the West until they become a better defense.
They can be and I'm not even a Lakers fan, right? I just think that if the Lakers if this coach and they commit themselves to playing defense with the guys that they have on the team. They got some guys like, look, you don't even worry about scoring. That'll be Luka's job. That'll be Reaves' job. DeAndre Ayton, Vanderbilt, and Marcus Smart. Y'all guys, you know, y'all focus on defending. That team, you know, with those guys in there, I think they can defend.
That's some team.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do. All right, so DeAndre Ayton, a pretty solid game last night, but he's had a little bit of a struggle, 12 points, less than actually, in 6 of the last 8 games. And JJ Redick mentioned that he's frustrated and feels like he's not getting the ball enough, which, you know, I'm looking at the names on that roster and I'm thinking, Chandler, I don't know if you're supposed to say that right now.
Yeah, this is weird to me. I think he just needs to just chill out, dude. You've already, everyone knows about the issues that you've had in Phoenix and everything that happens off the court. As the number 1 pick, there was high expectations for you. You're averaging 14 and 9 on the 3rd best team in the Western Conference, playing with Hall of Fame players. You're not going to get the ball. There's going to be certain plays, certain out of timeouts to get you going. But your job is to play hard, to get on the offensive glass, to get putbacks, to alter shots on the defensive end. That is your role here. And you've been doing a really, really, really good job doing it. Don't even have noise like this or frustrating situations like this where you're in the headlines for a negative impact. Let us roast LeBron and Luka and Austin Reaves. You shouldn't be that guy. You're having a great year, one of the best years of your career. don't get frustrated now. Just play hard, and good things will happen. And we've seen.
And I don't know why DeAndre Ayton why he think he is somebody who can demand the ball or want more touches. You know, I mean, he's just not that dude. He just not that dude. He's not somebody who you can go to the paint or go to, you know, drop it down on every possession and he gonna get you a good shot. He not that dude, man.
This with big guys all the time throughout their career. They want the ball. They want the ball. Sometimes that could expose them more than they could ever imagine because it's not their game.
Exactly.
So just play, do exactly what you're doing. 14-9, that's fine. I know it's career low and points per game, but like you are now on a relevant, good team. Embrace that role.
He was also the one last week that was vocal when JJ Redick said we're going to have a really uncomfortable practice, and he was the one that came out and said, "Yeah, no, we're not." Like that.
Yeah, man. I just this generation of basketball players, I don't understand. Like back in the day, you know, especially role players, like you wouldn't like these guys, you wouldn't hear a peep from somebody who's not a superstar or even superstars because you had to be careful of the message that you put out there in the public. You know, nobody spoke to on the Chicago Bulls. You spoke to, you know, Mike got some press. Scotty, what was the other guy? But they didn't speak to Ron Harper. They didn't speak to what was the guy? Randy, forgot his name, but you know, like the Scott Williams. They didn't speak to those guys. You know, Bill Weddington and Luke Longley and all those guys. Man, nobody interviewed those guys, man. You know, so it's crazy. It's just crazy. So that's my take on it. I don't think that the Lakers need to get rid of Reaves. I think they have defenders on their team who can help them out, and it's political. You know, they playing politics and they playing favorites, and that's why they're not gonna really go that far because you know they're afraid to sit LeBron down or not sit him down, but just cut his minutes. So that's my take on it. Y'all make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.